Alive will be losing a significant number of SCVs this time around. A huge Baneling hits as well, and that forces the lift of the third. Sulky starting to spring ahead.
He's got so many Zerglings too. 2-2 nearly done. The Marines trying to get into the bunker. They can't make it. One or two finally get in there, but this third base is shut down. And it's like we said, Sulky knew that third base was crucial for Alive, and so he just shut it down.
Yeah, that's right. An infestation pit on the way. Probably just going to tech straight up to Hive once again.
Yeah.
And now, Alive, our Terran player, back down to 2 bases. Sulky with a commanding 4. And again, Sulky just playing it safe, playing it cool, gets an advantage, and then calmly macros his way into a crushing victory.
You know, I really feel like, too, this kind of shows Sulky's mindset in this matchup. I feel like clearly he's not too intimidated by Alive, and so he's just playing very safe. You know, he's not trying to, you know, just win because he's afraid of losing the late game. He's just kind of dotting his I's, crossing his T's, and making sure that everything is going perfectly.
Well, that's a wise way if you want to win a tournament and not make any mistakes.
Yeah.
To come in, just to play that conservatively, to ensure that you get the victory.
Yep. Not Baneling's already out there. He's trying to bait Alive into it. Oh, so close. Just barely off.
And there he goes. He's trying to chase him back into it right now.
Oh, so close.
Oh, so very close indeed.
He probably could have unburrowed those. The Widowmine there would have done a lot as well, but as it is, I mean, Sulky came out ahead in that one anyway, so he's fine. He can save those for later. That's right. A lot of patience being shown by Sulky in this game.
Such even-keeled play here.
Yeah.
I mean, this is really the mark of a veteran, too, that he's not getting excited, he's not overextending, he's just cool as a cucumber in this game.
Yeah, yeah. And just a few left here. Those Widowmines and Banelings living together. Getting
nice,
along now.
That's right. Well, a drop in the main here will be cleaned up quite quickly as a wave of Zerglings sweeps in.
Yep.
And a few Mutalisks as well. Got to be a little careful there.
You know, one of the tricky things for this map as well as far as drop goes is that it is a little bit more on the narrow side, so it's easier for Zerg to sort of get from base to base, easier for them to cover those areas with Mutalisks and deny those drops. Off the line to continue to try it.
Oh, a huge Widowmine hit.
Oh, wow, we are on the same page today, aren't we?
We are indeed.
Yeah.
But the flock of Mutas grows ever larger right here. Alive continues to lose supply to his opponent. Sulky just doing everything in his power to keep his opponent down. That single Marine getting bopped in the head.
5 minute back.
And
I hardly knew Yi.
We did hardly knew Yi.
Yep.
It was alive for a short 5 minutes.
It was also alive. Oh! Wow, Alive just on the ropes, guys. I don't know what else to see. There's more Burrow Banelings there as well.
And the Banelings continue to sweep in.
Yeah.
Those Widowmines hurting Alive pretty substantially in that engagement as well.
Yeah, yeah, they're definitely helping out Sulky at this point. Sulky coming in with just an unbeatable group of mutas. Alive on his last legs here.
Yeah, he's really hit that critical number of Mutalisks where it's virtually impossible to take it out right now. The damage coming out of them absolutely enormous. He's able just to clean up these Marines with ease at this point.
When's the last time you saw a Zerg player split their mutas to fight 2 different groups of Marines? That's kind of where we're at this point.
Yeah, that is. It's a good benchmark for this game.
Yeah, and Alive can just kind of stream units in now. I mean, 100 supply down for Alive. Sulky sealing the deal here, attacking those destructible rocks. GG and Sulky 2-0s. EG Alive. I gotta say, Alive looking just a bit outclassed there in that match. Sulky looking pretty strong, but what do you expect? He's a WCS champion.
That's right. He's waving a wave of victories right now.
Yep.
Into this match, he will be heading into the winner's match.
A wave of mutilation.
That's right.
Yes.
And so we've got up next, of course, 2 foreigners coming out of WCS Europe, and that'll be TLO and Stephano going head-to-head in a ZVZ.
That is going to be awesome, guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. TLO versus Stephano. I got to admit, we're all a little bit sad, that 2 of our foreigners got put in the same group. They have to play each other. It's pretty unlikely that they're both going to make it out, but still going to be a good ZVZ regardless. Get your Banelings ready, guys. This is going to be a pretty aggressive one, I've got a feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to be taking a little break before that, though.
Maybe.
We'll have to see.
We'll see. I don't know. We might just move right into it, too.
Well, I
think it's quite possible.
That last match was just such a resounding victory.
Yeah.
I mean, truly impressive.
Well, the mind games from Sulky were very, very good. I mean, in game number 1, he did that all in. Did enough damage where he could expand and win the long game. In game number 2, he made Alive afraid. Alive pulled back, played more defensively, and because of that, Sulky knew he could take a very aggressive third, take an incredibly huge economic lead, and then just kind of win through sheer numbers in a lot of sense, and then just kind of use the fact that the map is a little bit easier to deny drops on to just shut down Alive's chances of getting back in the game.
Yeah.
So the strategy from Sulky, the overall strategy in this best of 3 was very good.
I'm just so impressed with how measured that play was, with how patient it was.
Yeah. Yeah, let's go ahead and looks like we're going to go and switch over to MVP versus Ryung for a little bit.
And they're tied 1-1 right now.
Taste of that, I guess.
It would appear.
I'm Jurgen, as the European community is named MVP. He's been taken on his own. So it's 1-1. It looks like we're actually right at the start of game 3. It's only on Monte Cristo's monitor, so I have to like scoot over so I can actually see what's going on here.
We'll rearrange ourselves.
Yeah, it looks like we're on Newkirk Precinct as well. All right. So this map, Newkirk Precinct, not used in tournaments very often, but I got to say, I really love playing on it. It does remind me a little bit of the original Shakuras Plateau back in the day, just in the way that the bases are laid out. Obviously a 2-player map, not a 4-player map, but you get the idea. Fast second command center, it looks like, from MVP. It's kind of like improv cast, like just thrust into it. It's like, hey, suddenly here's this game. But I'm not complaining because I wanted to see this TVT anyway. It looks like it's been a good one, guys. 1-1. Exciting stuff.
Pretty quick for 1-1 in TVT as well.
Yeah, I mean, with a player like Ryung involved, though, it's not quite as surprising. He is, quite good at doing all-ins and he does kind of lean towards that as is anyway. But generally, just a very smart player. Generally, his decision making, I feel, is really what kind of sets Ryung apart from a lot of other Terran players.
So we're seeing pretty even opening builds right now.
Yeah, oh, there's Stephano and TLO waiting for their match here.
That's right. They're about to go head-to-head against each other, but
yep.
Friends for now in the audience.
That's right.
Before they go to war in the booth.
They're like, no rush 10, all right? It's like, okay, let's just skip the Baneling mute apart. Stephano's like, shut up, so stupid. Stephano quote.
World's best Stephano impersonator.
I've just heard it so many times. All right, so jumping right in with the WCS EU champion, so a match of champions here in Group A, or Group A and B, I guess I should say. Let's take a look at these builds, though. We've got starports on the way for both of these guys, and
yeah,
I've had to kind of lean over, so I'm a little bit behind as far as like looking at what's going on. We may have a bit of a Widowmine drop coming out from MVP. Good old-fashioned possible Hellion drop from Ryung. There's a scan from MVP, so he's going to see a lot. And because he sees a reactor going on that factory, he may assume Widowmine drop when it's actually going to be possibly Hellion. So
interesting.
We'll see.
Well, MVP getting his second command center rolling right now. And here we go. Hellions coming across the map as well. So Ryung and MVP's Hellions, will they meet each other right now?
So we're going to have Hellbat drops actually from MVP.
And MVP really been preferring those Hellbat drops in a lot of matchups recently, not just TVT.
Yeah, it's really come back in a big way in TVZ, but TVT, it's always been a little bit scary, even after they kind of nerfed it so it came slower. People didn't do it for a while, and then they were like, oh yeah, Hellbats are good, so they started making it again. Ryung, though,
so ready for this.
Got that game sense. He knows the drop's coming. In fact, these drops are going to see each other, aren't they? Oh, hi.
It's drop-be-drop right now.
This is awkward.
And there we go. So MVP going to get in there.
Identical drops coming in.
All
Widowmines
right.
and Marines.
So there goes the first Widowmine. Going to get buried right there. Second Widowmine lands as well. Takes out a single SCV.
Yeah, denies that supply depot. That may be a bit of an issue for Ryung here. Drop for Ryung coming in MVP's base now.
Only Marines, though, so this one's going to have to get picked up pretty darn quickly. But Ryung gets into the natural before that bunker can complete.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Huge Widowmine hit at the natural. for MVP. Ryung, though, doing a decent amount of damage himself.
But that Viking takes down the medevac. However, those Hellions still working on the command center at MVPs. He has forced the lift.
Yep. It's hard to kind of tell right now who's going to be in the lead here. Ryung finally taking out that medevac, finally cleaning up a bit of that drop, but the Widow Mines are still there.
And there's going to be another missile. Oh, is it going to be ready right as those SCVs come down?
Well, we'll assume that it was, but we were looking at MVP's face at that point. And there's Ryung.
Microing hard.
Oh, Widowmine nearly done that Viking. Okay, it did go for the Viking, which isn't the best for defending drops, but it does keep his SCVs a bit safe. Now, for Widowmines, you do need 2 hits to kill Widowmine with. You do need 2 Widowmine hits rather to kill SCVs with Splash. But
yeah, MVP meching. He's starting to get those vehicle upgrades. Doa is so pleased right now.
I'm always happy when there's mech involved, Monte Cristo. No doubt about it. The game, though, fairly even up at the moment. And we'll see what happens here. I mean, because MVP going for mech, his army is going to be a little bit less maneuverable. He's going to need to keep the pressure on Ryung, because if Ryung starts to drop him a lot, he's going to have a little bit more difficult time responding to all that.
Well, here we go. The Hellbats are going to start being dropped right now. The Viking barely going to not catch wind of this, and there we go. Afterburners launching those Hellbats straight into the lines, but the Hellions coming in immediately, forces the pickup, and here are two Vikings in order to try and pick this off. Now he's gonna get a few SCVs, a handful. Meanwhile, a second attack right there at the natural.
Wow, the theme of this game is just multi-prong harass, but I'm a little bit worried about MVP. He's losing a lot of these early Hellions, and look at the number of Hellions Ryung has. This is such a crazy style coming out of Ryung. So, like, mass Hellion. I absolutely love it.
I'm beginning to think we're watching NASCAR, Doa.
I'm beginning to think we're watching HTO Mario, man, with the amount of reactor factory units coming out of this Terran player. Ryung coming over there as well. Can't be NASCAR. They're not making only left turns, you know?
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, that's true. Some even turning right.
Shocking. Well,
I know. Crazy stuff. But here's the thing. Ryung can try to push in on this, but MVP is probably going to have a good amount of Hellbats and some Hellions of his own at home.
Landing Vikings for harassment right here.
Yeah, and he's not going to be able to lift them too, because MVP has all those. Ryung trying to push in with the Hellions.
Oh, wow. Those Hellions taking a lot of damage from the Hellbats. And there we go. SCVs trying to get around this bunker to repair it. But MVP still trying to harass at the natural right now of Ryung. He's going to toast everything.
Ryung using the range of those Hellions to try to just avoid some of the damage from the Hellbats of MVP. What a crazy TBT.
This is a very weird TBT.
Yeah. MVP's gone into Magikarp mode too. He's serious.
Look at that kiting right now.
Wow.
Taking out the Hellbats that have been dropped. MVP way up in the Viking count right now, however.
Barracks, what are you doing over there? I just wanted to scout. Go down and join the bigger buildings. How big must those buildings be, actually, for the barracks to be that size compared to them? That's crazy.
Why would you put minerals on the roofs of your skyscrapers?
Maybe they just grow there, you know? There's mineral deposits.
And why would you be venting Vespene gas out of your building when it's valuable and needs to be collected?
I don't know. All I know is you can tell how intense the game is for MVP by how far his mouth is open. It's actually true. It's been true for years. And now some Viking harass, but Ryung coming in, causing them to lift again right away. Ryung ready for that one.
And here we go. Hellbats going to drop as well right now. So it's landed Vikings versus landed Vikings as MVP trying to do something right here. He's getting a good number, and Ryung GG's MVP will take it in Group B 2-1.
What a crazy TVT, man. I mean, Ryung kind of got a little bit caught in the sort of loop of having to just make tons of Hellions. You can see the look on his face right now. He's a little bit frustrated with that game. That was a wacky TVT. I'm so glad we got to see that.
Quite strange indeed.
Wow.
Well, Ryung will still have a chance. He's not out yet.
Yep, he feels so alone in that big booth. And we're moving back to the desk now, guys, because soon we'll have our second matchup. It's going to be Stephano versus TLO, but let's talk a little bit more about MVP versus Ryung. I can't wait to get home tonight and watch those first two games of that series, because if that third game was any indication, it was really, really crazy. But what can you expect? I mean, MVP versus Ryung, it's always going to be a good TVT. That's why I've been saying it like all week. Like my ideal finals in this tournament is going to be MVP innovation. I want to see it. TVT best of 7. Be great.
It would be quite interesting and refreshing too. So
Sounds like we're taking a break, guys. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more WCS finals after this.
Welcome back to the WCS Season 1 final. We've got the second match of Group A for you. And there he is, Team Liquid's TLO setting up in the booth. You'll notice, very interestingly, about both of our players, in fact, all three of our Zerg players in this group, they have no ZVZ games in WCS.
Yeah, that's a little bit crazy. Now, if we look at their overall Heart of the Swarm ZVZ stats, they do have some games played. And for TLO right now, he's 10-6, 62.5% in Heart of the Swarm, whereas Stephano is 2-3, only 40%. But it's such a small sample size, we really cannot call it. But TLO versus Stephano, this is like the ultimate ZVZ foreigner showdown. It's a little bit sad. I hate to see that in this group we've got two foreigners, but I really want to see everybody get far. But they've still both got a chance. Even if someone loses today, they can still get through the group, but it's going to be tough.
Yeah, TLO coming onto the world stage now. He was very popular and at the top, in beta and a little bit after release. But reaching a tournament of this caliber is very good for him.
I told him yesterday when I saw him, I'm like, man, you are playing better than you have ever played. You're looking great. Your results in WCS are awesome. You're slaying Terrans and stuff left and right. Deserve to be here, absolutely. And so does this guy, Stephano. Probably the most successful foreigner of all time in Starcraft 2. This guy is amazing. Said he's going to retire at the end of this year, probably around August. We'll see what happens. If he does well in WCS, he might have to put that off a little bit. He may have to come to BlizzCon after all.
Well, that's right. I would have to think that if the prize money keeps on rolling in, that he would stick around. And so this will be an interesting matchup. Foreigner versus foreigner. We have three of them.
I talked to Stephano a little bit earlier, just a few minutes ago, asked him how he's doing. He said he got 7 hours of sleep last night. He's all set, the jet lag not hurting him too much.
And there we go, a French flag for Stephano. So a very excited fan in our audience here at Yongsan.
Indeed, and some very excited casters on the desk, man. I can't wait for these games to start. I want to see this. ZVZ is still a volatile, crazy matchup, just like it's always been. It was kind of like Mutaville early on in Heart of the Swarm, but as the Spore Crawlers got buffed and buffed and buffed and buffed, then, the mutas have gone away a little bit, a tiny, tiny, tiny bit. They're still very prevalent, but I feel like we're going to start to see a little bit more variety in ZVZ, but to get to that point, you need to make it through the early game, and Ling Baneling is still very much to the order of the day. We don't see a lot of ZVZs get to the late game. Still, I don't think we ever will.
Well, we'll have to wait and see what these two fine gentlemen have in store for us.
You know what? I think TLO's beard has gotten to a manageable level. It was very big in the past, then it was gone, and now it's like in a good spot. This is a good place for TLO's beard right now, I think.
Yeah, it's a lovely length. It's a very manly, very handsome length.
Works out well.
Right now.
Well, the countdown is going, guys. Good luck, have fun, and an I love you from Stephano in the game lobby. So we are ready for game.